Well, I don't know about you, but I'm really fed up of all the rubbish being put out there now. Um, it's impossible to know what is truth and what is rubbish, isn't it? And to be honest, I don't know about you, but I felt that for the last 3 years. I'm sick to death of fake news and stories. I don't understand humanity and why they make things up, why people will edit footage to make it look more conspiracy orientated when it isn't. So I saw the video that came out about the sighting of them at the farm shop, and there's so many things that don't sit right with it. And one of those things is she's the wrong height, her cheekbones are too chiseled, she's been really puffy and ill, and I know that because I get puffy at my age, and I'm a few years older than Kate. Not many, but a little bit. And when you get puffy eyes and cheeks, if you've been off ill long term, you're not going to come out looking like 10, 20 years younger and all radiant with chiseled cheekbones. Her teeth and smile seem different to me. It doesn't look like her to me. But then I don't even know if I'm looking at the original footage or if it's been messed with by crazy people. It's just so hard to tell. But I do think in this day and age, I'm a woman in tech. If you are we're in a tech age and you're telling me that the only footage we get is all blurry and rubbish for the most wanted photo on the planet, and whoever sold that footage got about £200,000. So I can understand the temptation, and trust me, as a single parent in this cost of living, I'm tempted to make up some footage for £200,000. Oh my God, that would come in really handy right now. But morally, I just couldn't do it. So there are some people making a fortune out of misinformation, and it is really hard. There's so many theories out there, they can't all be true. So I just feel like giving up. I can't care about it. But the problem is, I look at things where you have people whose careers would be at risk, their reputation, the reputational damage and career risk to say certain things, like journalists and lawyers. I don't think they would lie. I don't see why they would lie. And then you've got also people like me who watched what Diana went through, and I think a lot of us have PTSD from that. It really broke me, actually, because I was a massive fan of the royal family. I loved everything about it. I grew up loving everything about the royal family, even though my parents did not. My parents called them scroungers and said they're just costing us a fortune. And I have to admit, I've kind of gone more that way over the years, especially since the Queen's death, because I just think, I'm not a financial expert, but if they were made to pay inheritance tax like poor people are, then all our debts from the lockdown and that would have been cleared, because it's like so much money. But they just get tax breaks because HMRC is his or her service, so they don't actually have to pay tax like everybody else. And I get over 50% of everything I earn taken away. And yeah, I have issues with that, I have resentment with that. So for me, I think some of my inner fears are coming out here because of my PTSD with Diana, which is not like huge, I've got over it, but I do have a huge sadness for her. And when she passed away, my worries and concerns went on to Harry and William, and I am biased because I don't think their lives are worth living like that. I mean, they are ridiculed in a way that the Queen was never ridiculed. I mean, all right, if you remember Spitting Image from in the past, that was horrible. I never liked that. They made puppets of royalty and politicians and took the mickey out of them, and they always looked horrendous in these puppets. And for some reason, it actually got canned and it's never been allowed to be done again. But I never liked Spitting Image. But they never overstepped the line with the Queen. The Queen was always relatively respected, but her offspring have never had that. They've been insulted, ridiculed, persecuted, and it's not just Diana that I was upset and worried about. I've actually, for the last couple of years, especially the last year, been really concerned for Meghan and Harry. At the end of the day, whatever we believe and whoever we like, the royals did not keep them safe. And the only reason that they were kept safe was because some rich producer or director in America gave them a home that could be made to keep them safe. None of their family could do that. And this rich person gave them safety. So I was always really worried the last year that something bad would happen to them because they can't afford the level of security they actually need for what their position and who they are. And I've been genuinely worried about her. And now I'm genuinely worried about Kate because to me, as I've watched over the years, she has become the modern day Diana. And I respect and admire her as much as I did Diana. And how they treat the women, and I think the Princess of Wales position is potentially cursed, how they treat the women, you know, the UK, that is, how they treat the women in the royal family is horrendous. I have no knowledge or experience of how they're treated by the royals and that, but I have not seen Meghan and Harry protected, you know, and Meghan and Kate, and forget William and Harry, because they were more born into this and expected this. And my heart still goes out for them. I think their lives have not been easy at all. But let's just focus on the ladies for a bit, because I'm a bit of a feminist, in case you haven't noticed. So you got Meghan, you got Kate. They were not born into this. They've had to learn, they've had to fit in, and they've had to train. And even if they don't fit in or want to play ball like Diana and Meghan and feel like they're being humiliated or put down or not respected or not considered enough, and they say, hands up, I want to leave the royal family. That didn't work out very well for Diana, did it? And it has worked out horrifically for Meghan, hasn't it? So you don't just get to go. You can't just say, I want another life. So considering that Meghan has left, she was put at risk in the same way that Diana was. No protection or anything, and I don't like that. I worry about her for that. We have celebrities all the time whose lives are threatened. They have harassment, stalking, you know, these are real threats just for like musicians and that, let alone royal family, where there's a lot of mixed emotions about it. And I think with Meghan, nobody's protected her. She's a mom. She's a woman. She's got children. I don't care whether you like her or not. I personally do. But I don't care whether we like her or not. She deserves a life for her family to be safe and to be protected. And how dare you keep slagging her off around the world? It drives me up the wall. We women should not do that to any other woman in any way. You know, we're not witch hunting anymore. Those days are over. We women should have each other's backs now. So, Meghan, you ever want a normal woman to speak to without bias? I'm very spiritual, so I hold my morals very highly. You can always call me and I'll do some energy healing on you, because I think the world of you and I think it's disgraceful the way you've been treated. But I'm here for you. So Meghan, Kate, you ever want to call me? I'll be a friend. And I just think I've been genuinely worried about Meghan. And now Kate's gone missing. So clearly something's not normal. She's very unwell. I don't believe the footage I'm seeing. I can't even tell what's real or not anymore. So many ridiculous ideas that you don't even know which one to believe. I do think it's very serious. She's not going to come back all radiant and looking 20 years younger. It's ridiculous. I think that's just some people trying to make a few $100,000. And good for them. You know, if that's how you make your living, great. I hope you've been able to feed your children. If you don't have children, you critters. I don't mind somebody stealing a loaf of bread for their children to feed them, but if you're stealing a loaf of bread just for yourself, no, not happy. So yeah, my concern is she's going to be like another Diana, you know, because she's like Diana. She's the only royal family member that we like and accept now, and without her I don't see how they would succeed. So if she passes away or divorces or leaves the royal family in any way, I think they're in serious trouble, which is why they want their privacy. And I don't want to know what's wrong with her. I don't want the details, none of my business, and I don't care. But I want to know she's safe. And it just goes to show how distrustful we've all become over the last 3 years, because we don't believe anything we hear. I can't believe anything. And this footage came from The Sun. And my English teacher had an argument with my dad years back in college saying, you can't believe anything from The Sun. And it really upset my dad. He never got over it, actually. And all she was trying to do is get him to buy different newspapers so I could be better educated. And I just don't trust anything. So Don't know what you think. Tell me.